Chappell's is having a very special sale on the finest quality watches for men and women. Chappell's has made a special purchase of famous name watches, gift boxed and fully warranted by the manufacturer, at the low price of only $39.99. Choose from such famous makers as Gruen, Elgin, Helbros, Benris, and many more. All at the low price of just $39.99. You'll find all the latest styles, great for yourself or as a gift. Hurry in for the best selection at all 7 Chappell stores.
MASH, weeknights at 7:30 on TV5.
Coming up on News Center 5, a small town's tragedy grows worse. In Canastota, an explosion and fire destroys a family's home.
And a standoff with a sniper is over. 2 men are wounded. The gunman is under arrest. In the weather, colder temperatures translate to snow flurries.
And in sports, 2 universities name new head coaches.
Now, Bob Kirk, Liz Ayers, and Mark Cooper on sports. This is News Center 5.
Good evening. Here's what's going on. This has been a year of big tragedies in a tiny Cayuga County hamlet. Tonight, Dave Bullard reports on a troubled family. It has a second life-threatening problem.
Tragedy has come twice by automobile for the Bennett family. Jeffrey Bennett's car killed 4 children this year in Red Creek. He was drunk behind the wheel. A sentence of 2 to 6 years in prison should have ended the tragedy. It did not. Last Thursday, 2 trucks collided at this intersection. One flipped over. It threw its passenger through the windshield onto the country road. Lying amidst the wreckage, Jeffrey Bennett's wife. Tammy Bennett is in critical condition with major head injuries. Her parents declined to talk to News Center 5 today. They say they want no one's help. But family friends in this crossroads community worry.
It's a small community. Everybody gets concerned, you know, especially with the bad luck they've had.
I know Tammy very well, and Lloyd. It's a surprise, you know, it's one after another.
At the Reynolds gas station and a mile down Route 104 at the Greens Country Kitchen, everyone offers to help. They hear Tammy may need a blood transfusion, and some volunteer their blood. And they shake their heads sadly over this year of twin traffic tragedies for the Bennetts. Dave Bullard, News Center 5.
The case of accused murderer Robert Matthews goes to the jury tomorrow. The 18-year-old Matthews is accused of setting the October 1985 fire that killed his aunt. Attorney summations ended earlier today, and tomorrow morning, the jury gets the case.
Members of a family living in a small home off Oneida Lake consider themselves very lucky tonight, although you might not see why right away.
What had been their home off Wilson Cove Road in Canastota is literally a cinder now, following a fire and apparent explosion which erupted shortly after 5 this afternoon. 3 dogs inside died. A cat escaped. The couple and their daughter who lived here were not home at the time, but almost.
Just when I got home from work, I had to go to therapy for my neck, and we just come around the bend, I see the fire department going down our road, so I figured it's probably our home.
My husband picked me up. We come home to this. Lost everything.
Firefighters say they're not yet sure what caused the fire. One investigator thinks it might have begun with a kerosene furnace. Another says it might have been electrical. Nor are they sure of the sequence of events.
The residents of the area say there was an explosion in the building, but they didn't say whether it was prior to the start of the fire or if that caused the fire.
The family had been planning to spend Christmas in the small wood frame home. They'll be spending the next several days just trying to find the tiny pieces that are left.
Meanwhile, at Syracuse's VA hospital, no patients were forced to evacuate, but some workers had to leave when asbestos was accidentally uncovered. Carol Clark reports.
As contractors worked on a major renovation project on the 8th floor at the VA hospital, they unveiled asbestos wrapped around some pipes when a hole was knocked into a linen chute. According to VA officials, they immediately sealed the area, evacuated all personnel, and conducted air monitoring samples.
Initial results of those after several hours are that they're well below EPA standards for background levels.
Veterans Hospital officials say its 270 patients were not at risk because none were on the 8th floor at the time. A 50-bed nursing home care unit had been relocated when the 8th floor renovation began. Asbestos becomes at risk when it's airborne. Long-term exposure causes a lung condition called asbestosis. But Miller claims it's common to find asbestos in facilities like this one built in the 50s. And he says the renovation plan calls for its removal, and asbestos has been found here before.
We've kind of expect these things to happen. At the initial stages of the project, we knew asbestos abatement was part of it, and what happened is something that you, again, can almost certainly expect.
Hospital administrators will meet tomorrow morning to evaluate the asbestos problem and decide what steps to take next. At the VA hospital, Carol Clark, News Center 5.
Is it a real solution, or is it something like closing the barn door after the horse has already left? Larry Sperano reports on the latest move to clean up the water in Cortland.
This is Otter Creek. It and nearby Dry Creek are part of the aquifer system from which the city of Cortland and the town of Cortlandville draw drinking water. Part of the aquifer has already been polluted by chemicals which the state says have seeped from the local Smith Corona plant. Now the Cortland County Legislature has voted to petition the Environmental Protection Agency to designate the system as a sole source aquifer, meaning that no federal funds would be provided for construction which threaten the aquifer, but millions of federal dollars could be provided for projects such as filtration systems which protect the aquifer. County officials admit the move will not immediately eliminate pollution that already exists, but they say it's better than nothing.
I'm very satisfied.
But the satisfaction which county legislators are showing is not being shared by residents of the polluted Pheasant Run neighborhood in Cortland.
It's absolutely the least they could have done. There's no question about that. And we want more. And we want them to realize that they have to make protection of this aquifer a priority.
Water had to be trucked into the neighborhood this summer, and now homes are hooked to a municipal water supply, which neighbors say might also become affected by Smith Corona. For Jamie Dangler and Bob Moore, the move to protect the aquifer is, in many ways, too little, too late. In Cortland, Larry Sperano, News Center 5.
Krauss-Irving Memorial Hospital delivered 4,300 babies last year, and they're running out of room. Krauss and St. Joseph's Hospital are applying for 16 additional nursery beds to free up critical care space at Krauss. CIM houses the neonatal unit for an 11-county area, and a hospital administrator says there is a desperate need for more space.
I know many times that we're closed, St. Joseph's is closed, and community is closed. So it's not that it's just us that's busy, it's the community as a whole that's busy.
The process through which new beds are requested normally takes as long as 2 years, but Botter predicts the state will recognize that and that this is an emergency and will act more quickly.